Michele Conti here with Conti Law. Let's talk about joint bank accounts today. Is adding a child to your bank account a good idea? Well, the answer is it depends. Why are you doing it? If you are adding a child for convenience purposes, meaning if your concern is that as you age or as your health declines, that the co-owner will have the ability to pay bills, write checks, then yes, that's a great idea. It avoids probate. It also reduces inheritance tax by 50%, so long as the co-owner was on that bank account for 1 year prior to your passing. Those are the benefits. The downside is if your intention is for all of your beneficiaries. So let's say you have more than one child and your expectation is that bank account will be divided equally between your surviving beneficiaries. That may not occur. Now, keep in mind, every bank and financial institution has their own protocol and procedure. So you need to inquire with them what happens when you die. But in a majority of the cases, those accounts are created as joint tenant accounts, or joint tenant would write a survivorship, meaning when the owner or one of the owners passes away, the balance automatically becomes the surviving owners. So if your goal is for all of those funds to be distributed equally between your other children or between the beneficiaries named in your will, that may not happen. That's the downside. Now, in my experience, 20 plus years, I can count on one hand the number of children who are co-owners on a bank account who willingly split the proceeds, the balance, with their other siblings. That was very nice of them, but legally they do not have to do that. If that money becomes theirs upon passing, it's theirs. Now, you also have to consider what the gift ramifications are. If it's a small bank account, then it's not a big deal. But if it's a larger bank account and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars to divide upon your passing, the co-owner, your surviving child, may have an issue with gifting the balance to their siblings. That's also something to consider. One way around this is by creating a power of attorney, having that bank account in your individual name and allowing your child to serve as agent under your power of attorney, which ultimately allows them to pay bills, file taxes, manage your affairs if you're unable to do so. So think long and hard, ask the questions. What happens to those funds upon your death? And again, if your goal is for those to be divided between your surviving children and not simply the co-owner, then maybe you should think twice about it and create a power of attorney instead.